is up? What is up, YouTube gaming family? It is IK right here, back at it with another video for y'all today. Credit to Ninja Killer 212. I'm gonna be giving some gameplay commentary on more MK1 new patch notes, but I wanted to give my thoughts on SonicFox real quick, and then we'll talk about the patch because I forgot to post my video on that. So yeah, my whole thoughts on SonicFox, winning EVO and his claim that he made up on Twitter, where he was talking about him being on the Mount Rushmore of FGC competition, and I find it to be pretty disingenuous. But I don't think personally, to me, I don't think he's that good. But yeah, before I get into that, be sure to hit the like button, do what you guys gotta do, and that's pretty much it for me. Yeah, so let me give you my quick thoughts on this. Yeah, SonicFox does have skill, and there's no doubt about that, but the issue that is being presented here is that when you call yourself a great player in, in the eyes of, the EVO competition fans and other FGC tournaments, I think it's pretty much, disingenuous to say SonicFox is, one of the best players to ever do it, per se. Because, credit to some other great FGC, competitive players from different games, like people like Arslan Ash, Justin Wong, Daigo. There's a whole bunch of great players out there. I think SonicFox does not stand up to that high level of players. I think SonicFox has a massive level of unprofessionalism, where he doesn't accept the fact that whenever he plays his certain level of competition up against players that he knows that he can beat, he doesn't acknowledge that the fact that he's using top tiers that are just giving him the ability to win, and he's not really doing anything versatile within his gameplay. So I just don't find that to be I don't find that to be interesting. I find it to be absolutely very demented, and I find it to be low level. Granted, there probably could have been times where SonicFox could have done some other high level gameplay with, certain characters that he has used, but that's specifically within like NRS titles for Mortal Kombat, where for the most part SonicFox has never really been competing in Mortal Kombat, throughout all the titles. So I will say, SonicFox only got his name, within the FGC through other names, and he didn't really get it from the ground up. And granted, he has skill, but the skill that he possesses is with characters where he's able to just get free wins off of broken mechanics that gives him the ability to win. Obviously this player that you see on the screen, Ninja Killer, I think Ninja Killer has a far better resume compared to Sonic. I don't think winning EVO 8 times does not make you a super great player. I think EVO has kind of been proven to be one of those highly unpopular tournaments where people just go to EVO because, they just want to get that experience to have fun. But EVO throughout the years have not hasn't been that good for Mortal Kombat, and I think a lot of people can agree that EVO is just not that, it's not that type of tournament that's really respectable for Mortal Kombat fans. But if you were to take tournaments like CEO, or at least Combo Breaker, or maybe Final Combat, I think Final Combat has a pretty good roster of tournament entrants. I will say SonicFox will probably never face his level of competition outside of the US, and I think he just does it because he doesn't. Well, for one, I don't blame him, for whatever tournament that he ever goes to. But granted, for most of the tournaments that he ever goes to, it's usually EVO, and then sometimes he goes to CEO, and then I don't think he ever goes to Combo Breaker like that. So I'm not really gonna put that moniker on him, but I would like to see him kind of expand his competition a little bit deeper, and probably not be as arrogant, taking that talent to say that he is, to be the best, because I don't see him to be super great with like what he does. I think like there's plenty of other great players from other fighting games where he, like, for one, he actually got exposed in Street Fighter, and he's gotten, his butt whipped in Tekken, where he's not that good of a talent. And I think Sonic has shown himself to be a very flawed, person, where he doesn't take criticism, and he understands that he's just like, he's just not that good. So I will say SonicFox has a lot of flaws, and people like Ninja Killer have definitely exposed them from the past. Um, what I will say for the future for SonicFox, if he continues to think that he is to be the best, person out there, to be heavily respected within the FGC, I think the stock is just going to keep on dropping more over time. So I don't see SonicFox really surviving his name any longer, because there's plenty of way better players out there that could very well defeat, yeah, very well defeat him. And I think the reason why people have this weird affinity for Sonic is simply because you just have dumb ignorant children, most likely, or probably grown adults actually, that really have like some crazy love affection for him, where they just protect him at all costs, and they try to act like as if Sonic Fox doesn't have any like, basically people think Sonic Fox is is above criticism, and he does not deserve to get any means of punishment, like applied to him. So I just find that to be really stupid and very, ignorant from his fans. So yeah, I don't think Sonic Fox is going to be, keeping his name, positive, throughout the future, because I think his reputation is definitely going to go downhill when he understands that he's not as good as he says, that he is. So I just don't see that out of him. So yeah, I just wanted to kind of give like my take on Sonic Fox, because I think, it's been proven that whenever he competes at other games, he gets his butt whipped, and then he doesn't accept criticism, and then he just ends up running away, from other fighting game tournaments that he wants to get into, whether it's Street Fighter or Tekken, or even Fatal Fury. I mean, Street Fighter and Tekken, most likely, he just gets his ass whipped, most of the time. So yeah, I mean, if you guys want to see more details out of that, go look at that one YouTuber called D All the Way G. He's a pretty good YouTuber. He pretty much exposed, Sonic Fox pretty well. But I will say, if Sonic Fox does end up, expanding better to other games, I will give him credit. But I'm not going to give him credit for anything that he does within Mortal Kombat, where he's given the ability to kind of just play like a dog and just basically spam meta. But also on top of that, his lack of professionalism and disrespect to other people is not to be, you know, is not to be tolerated. I think what he said about people like Sikander or Perfect Legend, I think that shit is very corny, and I think that's very like very immature out of him, and I think he's just very degenerate and very stupid for for acting the way he acts, where he has like a community that basically protects, degenerate, behavior from him. So I think shit like that needs to be called out, and I think he needs to be taken out of, out of any fighting game community. So I just think his actions need to be punished for what he does. So yeah, that's pretty much it for that. And yeah, let me go into Mortal Kombat with the recent patch notes, and let me give you guys my whole take on this. So all right, so let me get the MK1 patch notes, and I'll give you guys my take. Hold on. All right, I'm back. So yeah, I'm just gonna go down through the whole list of buffs and nerfs that have been applied to a lot of characters, and I'll just give you like my whole take on like how I thought about this patch, because I think this patch was like really crappy and lackluster, but I'm just gonna like speed run it just to give you guys like the whole, details of like what happened. So first character that we got Astra. Absolving a sin with heaven attack does 30 damage. It got buffed from 20 damage. Havoc, the first hit, a flesh wound, was an overhead, and the second hit is now a overhead, which is now considered to be a mid. Yeah, so basically, like the first hit, like, of his flesh wound, um, was basically a like was basically like an overhead mix, but now with his second hit, for that combo of flesh wound is now a mid. So therefore, Havoc is basically going to get whiff punish, off of that. But I probably, well, I'm not really going to be showing you like a video off of that, but if you guys want to see more information off of that, just go look at the recent Mortal Kombat 1 patch notes video that showed you that the hotfix out of Havoc's, basically recent nerfs, because he got some really good nerfs, and I'm really happy that he got fucking nerfed. But Havoc is just absolutely, meta dog, and I'm just glad that that he got nerfed out, well, nerfed out of existence. But he's definitely on the right path of like where he should have been. So the second nerf that he got increased combo damage scaling after scab stab combo. Yeah, so basically, like if Havoc does up the scab stab combo, he's able to kind of like get more nerfed damage. Basically, there's more nerfed damage combo scaling on his on his scab stab combo. So he's not able to kind of just do all that crazy damage with Mavado or any other combo that you could think of that he's good at doing, where he's gonna get like 50 something % off of like one bar. So Havoc is definitely back to where he used to be from the beta. Destroying balance, recovery on block and miss increase. Yeah, yep, increased by 7 frames. So that basically means Havoc has more like basically his combo for destroying balance is much higher off of frames, so he's not able to kind of like get that combo off a lot faster. So either way, like that's actually like a great nerf, because Havoc, he be spamming that bullshit combo where he's kind of able to just 50-50 you off of that. All right, so let's talk about Kenshi. Heightened senses can now be special canceled. I don't know why he was given that. I think Kenshi is absolute meta trash for people to use him. But yeah, heightened senses is absolutely terrible. I don't understand why he gets like a cancel for that. I mean, I guess it's fine because Sento kind of gives him the ability to kind of do what he wants. But now that Sento is actually nerfed, where the cooldown with Sento is now much faster, well, much longer. So basically, like once Kenshi goes Sento, the drain starts to go faster, so therefore Sento does not stay longer with Kenshi. So I don't mind it, but I think that was just like an unnecessary buff. Impaler, this is his Sento stance for Impaler. That move basically recovers 7 frames faster for Kenshi. I don't mind that. That's actually fine, but I kind of think that's pretty stupid. If you ask me, I don't think he needs to have any recovery. If I whiff punish you and I'm actually beating the crap out of Kenshi, I think Kenshi should be automatically punished every single time, for coming in with his Sento. So yeah, let's talk about Lee Mei. Calculated combo, recover 7 frames faster on hit. Her air enhanced flipping heel kick is no longer negative when flawless blocked. I think that's really terrible. I think that's absolutely dog shit. I think that should be nerfed immediately. That means that she could use her enhanced flipping heel kick when you flawless block it, and that gives her automatic safety every single time. I think that's really stupid. Her Sky Lantern detonated by Nova Blast now hits a overhead, which was originally a mid. So basically, that's super broken. So whenever she uses like a Sky Lantern and she can get you to launcher you off of it, she can now punish it, as a she can now punish it as a overhead. So you basically have to block it while standing up, because if you block it low, then it's going to hit you. So I'm going to probably take a look at that and see what would happen if I try to use it. I'm actually going to lab that after this video, but I want to say that's actually a pretty crappy buff to give her. I don't see why she needs that. She already does a crap ton of damage, and it's like you giving her the ability to do that would just make some dog shit MK1 player that spams that in Combat League to just give them the ability to play like a, yeah, just to play like trash. Okay, so let's talk about Liu Kang. Liu Kang, shout out to Ninja Killer. His punishing palm, front punch, back punch, front punch, can now be special canceled. This is a great buff. I'm pretty sure that you probably seen it in this video. But yeah, if you guys ever want to take a look at it, just take a look at the MK1, balance patch, video that NRS dropped. I think that's a pretty good buff. I'm actually not gonna lie. I think Liu Kang needs to have more mix, and honestly, I really wish Liu Kang had his kick and mix-up combos from Mortal Kombat X. If he had something like that, Liu Kang would be absolutely monstrous. But I think having this is okay, but I want to see kicking combos. If they give him like kicking strings where he's able to kind of like mix up combos and he's able to do more damage, I think that would be good. Also, give him his Flaming Fist combo. I would like to see the Flaming Fist ability from Mortal Kombat X where, if he lights up his fists, he does like a lot more damage and he's able to just beat the crap out of you. I think Liu Kang having something like having something like that would be really good for his for his gameplay. So that's just my honest opinion. Let's talk about the next character, Rain. Water Beam and Enhanced Water Beam starts up 3 frames faster. I think that's really good. Also, he got like another buff where he's able to kind of like cancel into his I want to say his forward 1-2, and now he can just extend more combos. So I think that's really good for Rain. I'm actually really happy that he got that. I think Rain is already good as he is, but if you kind of give him something like, I don't know, just give him like a new ability where he can like mix you up after he slams you into like the air or something like that. Maybe kind of give him his Mortal Kombat 9 combo where if he hits you with like a water ball, he can kind of like put you into like the air, and then you can kind of like make that decision whether if you want to kick your like opponent to kind of put them through like a certain vortex loop. I think Rain having that would be so good for the game. Also, I wouldn't mind giving him maybe like his MK9 lightning, lightning like ability, where he could launcher the opponent in the air if you spend like a bar, or I don't know. Like, I mean, there's plenty of options that you could do for Rain, but I feel like Rain, he's way too zoner heavy. I think Rain needs to have more. He needs to have more like up close combos where he can kind of like mix you and he can kind of like do more combo damage to kind of like give you that ability to kind of like make you like, I don't know, kind of like make you think a lot. So I think Rain having something like that would be really good for him. So yeah, let's talk about Reptile. Reptile got some crazy buffs. Dr. Reki and Neat Trick are now longer. Okay, so basically Dr. Reckle and Neat Trick are basically no longer negative when they're flawless blocked. So basically Reptile has the same buff like Li Mei, where he's able to just do wild crap with those moves that are plus frames. So even if you flawless block it, you have to basically you can't do anything to whiff punish, Reptile. I think that's absolutely terrible, and that's garbage, for the game. So I think that's absolutely terrible for the game. So I think Reptile should have never been given anything like that at all. Let's talk about the next character, Shang Tsung. Knee reverser in young form now recovers 3 frames faster, and spin kick in young form can now be special canceled and does 50 damage. So that's actually like a decent buff that was like a nerf, so I don't mind that. I think spin kick is actually pretty good, where that gives you the ability to special cancel it, and now Shang Tsung is able to kind of do more with his like abilities. So I don't mind it. I think Shang Tsung having something like that is totally fine. So I will say Shang Tsung has some pretty good mix-up pressure, in using his young form. And then if you want to go back to old form, you can do whatever you want with him. So I think that's fine. I think Shang Tsung is actually pretty good with these buffs. I mean, he technically got like a nerf with his second buff with spin kick, but I don't mind that. I think it's really good. I think knee reverser is actually good to be safe with using that combo, so therefore you can recover faster. Because sometimes Shang Tsung in the young form gets whiff punish a lot faster, so he's not able to kind of do whatever he wants. So that kind of gives him more utility to actually fight a lot smarter. Quan Chi, Psycho Skull, and Enhanced Skull starts up 5 frames faster. I think that's a great buff. Sorcerer Smack has 2 more frames of block stun. That's a really good buff. I actually like that, by the way. Bao already has 5 more frames of hit stun. Best foot backward now hits overhead. It was originally a mid and had its hit region adjusted. I think that's really good, by the way. That's a really good buff because now Quan Chi has the ability to kind of like beat the crap out of somebody, and he can now zone you with with like a lot of guessing games. So I think Quan Chi, I'm definitely gonna be maining him. I'm definitely gonna get good with him so I could start learning how to get good with him. But like obviously, for those of you that know me, I play Shao Sub-Zero, so I'm more connected with Shao Kahn. Good enough Shao Kahn. He didn't get nerfed. He's actually I'll say Shao Kahn is actually doing pretty good as a character. So I don't think Shao Kahn really needed any nerfs at all. But hold on. Let me switch out of the video. I'm gonna play like a Quan Chi video to kind of show how good Quan Chi is. Hold on. I'll be right back. All right, I'm back. I switch over to Honeybee. So shout out to Honeybee. He got some good gameplay here with buff Quan Chi. So yeah, let's get right into it. I think everything that is shown with Quan Chi is actually pretty good. If you look at the balance patch video from NRS's end, I think what Quan Chi needs is that Quan Chi needs to have his trance ability. I think trance would definitely give him a lot of utility, where once he hits you with something, he could actually like basically reset you in a combo, but it gives him that safety because once he uses trance should give you the ability to kind of like reset the enemy, but you could also do more damage as you go. If they ever bring back that ability from Mortal Kombat 9 or MKX, that'd be really good because I like to see Quan Chi have the ability to basically hyper stun you, where he could like mind control you. And let's just say if he EXs you, what he could do from there is that the trance can do more damage, but it can also slow the enemy while Quan Chi is like basically beating you down. So I think that's something that they should definitely bring in with Quan Chi. I think that would be really good with Quan Chi if he had something like that. But yeah, I think those are great buffs for for Quan Chi. So yeah, let's talk about Omni-Man. Omni-Man Earthquake Stomp, by his second hit has 5 more frames of block stun. I'm not really a fan of this buff. I don't think Omni-Man ever needed this. I think Omni-Man did not need any buffs at all. But I don't think this buff alone makes any sense because that means that he's now able to kind of just spam the Earthquake Stomp, and then he doesn't he doesn't get punished out of it. It's basically free plus frames for him to kind of mix you up, and then he's not able to get with punish at all. So I mean, I'm probably just being dramatic about that, but I really don't care because I think Omni-Man does not deserve any buffs at all, and he was already fine where anytime when he uses any move that kind of gives him the ability to kind of be in that little footsie game with you, I think Omni-Man was never to be in that position to be weak. He's a very strong character. He's very powerful. So it's not like Omni-Man was ever to be in that position of being quote unquote, bad. He's he's a very good character and he has a lot of great utility. So yeah. All right. So let me talk about the rest of the characters. Ermac, he got nerfed. His move behind you releases opponents 10 frames sooner. So that basically means that whenever he uses that move, he's now like he's not able to kind of like utilize whatever, you know, mix up that he wants to do. I don't think it really makes much of like a difference anyway. So I mean, I don't mind it. I think Ermac is fine. So I think it doesn't really affect him. So I think Ermac will be fine for this particular hot fix, like, you know, patch. All right, let's talk about Homelander. Homelander got increased combo damage scaling after Vought dropped the 7 slam and See No Evil. So basically, he no longer does all this crazy damage with Farah, and I'm not too sure if I could really agree, because he still does some damage, but it's not like super duper crazy damage. So I think Homelander is pretty fine, but I don't know. I guess I need to probably play up against Homelander more, and I think I'll start to see Homelander being less of like a character to use. So I think Homelander having to like combo reset you every time with Farah and just do like 40 to 45% resets, having to not get punished for it, is absolutely dog shit and terrible for the game. Excuse my French, but yeah, I just don't think Homelander should be given any free safety using his command grab combos. So that's just my particular thoughts on that. All right, let's talk about Conan. Fix a rare issue that caused Barbarian Blitz and Barbarian Blade to sometimes not hit correctly in trade situation. Barbarian's Blitz and Blades recovers 5 frames faster on hit and miss. Atlantean Bulwark 4th hit has 7 more frames of hit advantage. So basically, he has plus frames with his Atlantean Bulwark. Like, honestly, dude, I don't think Conan really needed something like this, but for him to kind of go out of his way to, well, for NRS to go out of their way to give him something like this was not necessary. I think Conan just, honestly, if anything, just give him like a combo extension and he was fine. I don't think you like you ever needed to really give him something like this, because he was doing good with damage, and he wasn't hyper spamming, you know, like he wasn't being hyper spam within meta for him to just hyper spam certain combos for him to like be super powerful. So I think Conan is fine, but it's like there was no need to really buff him. So that's just my take on that. Let's talk about T1000. T1000 got massive nerfs. Multiplanar laceration third hit now hits mid. It was originally a overhead. So basically that means that he can't use like that crazy combo where he uses both of his arms as like little swords, and that third hit was originally a overhead. So that like that combo alone gives you the ability to whiff punish him. So I think that's a really great nerf. And then he now has increased combo damage scaling for liquid form suplex and nasal pierce. So that basically means he can't just be spamming that crap every single time, you know, in a fight. So yeah, I like that. You know, I think that's a great nerf for T1000. Hold on, give me 1 second. All right, I'm back. So yeah, that's a really good nerf for T1000. I don't mind that. I think T1000 should have been nerfed a little bit more with his, well, I don't know what other things that you could really nerf him. I probably say maybe nerf his pistol. So therefore, if he's trying to spam with the pistol, you're able to kind of whiff punish him as soon as he does it. So I think if he got something like that, that'd be good. Also, kind of nerf that little blade that he lifts, you know, from the ground, where he's not able to kind of use all that nonsensical crap. So also the command grab shit, you know, that should be unsafe too. So I think overall, I think T1000 is gonna get nerfed more, but yeah, his days of being used as like a broken character to spam meta is definitely over. So I'm not mad at it. I think those are great nerfs, and I'm definitely happy that T1000 got taken down. So yeah, that's pretty much like my whole thoughts on that. Yeah, let's talk about Cyrax. This is a really good list of nerfs that she got. Um, Capture foam is now destroyed when hit by other projectiles. So that capture foam nonsense that she does is actually unsafe to do now. So it like basically that's a really great nerf. I'm happy that Cyrax got nerfed out of that. Her close, mid, and far bomb builds less meter when performed and do less damage when blocked. So this is really good. I think honestly, what they should have added to this is that Cyrax bombs should be disabled as soon as you hit Cyrax. So like if I hit Cyrax while she plants all those bombs to the ground while she's trying to mix you, her bombs should be disabled. I think that should be balanced, out of her bombs. I don't think she should be able to kind of do something like that. So yeah, that's just my personal opinion for that. I think if Cyrax had a nerf on her bombs where they automatically disable as soon as you hit Cyrax, that would be really good to get rid of that. Also, nerf her little tech like her little tech throw that she does when she plays Serena, where when she spams like that nonsensical crap with Serena, she's not able to kind of like put you into like that vortex loop where she's trying to drain like your meter and all that crap. I think something like that should have been taken out of the game. So I just don't think Cyrax should have I don't think Cyrax players should be able to play like that, and they're able to just be spamming that BS. So that's just my personal opinion off of that. I think that's really trash that Cyrax is able to do something like that. But with these particular nerfs that she's now given, I'm happy that she got nerfed with this, and also she should be nerfed more because I think Cyrax players just play garbage, when they try to act like that. So yeah, that's just like my whole take on Cyrax alone. She should not be given broken mix, and she's able to not get punished for it. At least with MKX Cyrax was way better compared to, MK1 Cyrax. Because at least with MKX Cyrax, you had to take, yeah, one, it took you skill to actually be smart playing Cyrax, but on top of that, Cyrax was not broken to the point where he was just ultimately mixing you by using his cybernet, and then he could just mix you with bombs all day. No, like if you try to do that with Cyrax, you have to be very careful, and you were never always successful being able to do that because Cyrax's bomb setups were very risky, and you had to be very careful whenever you try to mix somebody in the air, because eventually somebody will have the ability to find their opening, and then Cyrax, he can give whiff punish pretty easily. So either way, these are good nerfs. I wish Cyrax got nerfed a little bit more. So that's just my take on that. Alright, let's talk about Sector. Sector, her air burst grenade no longer builds meter on this. And air burst grenade is now 50 damage. It was originally 60 damage. Air burst grenade and air enhanced burst grenade does less damage when blocked. Flamethrower now does 30 damage on first hit. It was down from 50, and 50 damage on second hit. So that was up from 30. So yeah, I don't mind that. That's actually pretty decent. Enhanced Flamethrower first hit does 50 damage. It was down from 90 damage, and 50 damage on second hit. It was up from 30 damage. So that's not bad. I'm totally fine with that. I think Sector being given something like this is really good. I think Sector is trash. I hate Sector players, but I just use Sub-Zero Cameo, and I just beat the crap out of her with Shao Kahn. So I've never really had much of an issue with Sector players. I think like whenever you're playing other characters that doesn't give you the ability to like rush down Sector, they met with a lot of issues where you're not able to kind of do whatever you want with Sector. So basically, these are great nerfs, and I think Sector deserves it because, the fact that she's able to kind of use like the whole little air burst grenade and the flamethrower to kind of use, Motaro to kind of like infinitely zone you, and therefore she can just spam all the damage right in front of you. No, I just think that's terrible. I'm happy that Sector is basically done, and no, I think Sector should have been nerfed from the very beginning, bro. MKX Sector and MKX Cyrax were the best versions of Sector and Cyrax, where they weren't broken, but they were good enough to like play the game, and you still had utility to kind of like beat them up while they were trying to beat you up. If you know what I'm saying, it was like a fair playing, type of game. So I don't think Sector and Cyrax and MK1 was any better because they just play like brain dead characters. So that's something that I never really gave a lot of respect for, and I'm happy that Sector and Cyrax both got nerfed because they don't play like male Sector and Cyrax. So the female versions just feel a lot more trash compared to the male versions. Okay, let me speed run with the rest of these. I have like a whole bunch of other stuff to kind of break down with the rest of this patch. All right, we got Frost Cameo. Ice Crash now does 23 frames of invulnerability on Wake Up. It was up from 11 frames. I think that's a really good buff. Darius Cameo. The last hit of Twister Kicks is no longer negative when Flawless blocked. That's actually pretty good, by the way, as like a ambush, type of Wake Up. Twister Kicks has now 29 frames of invulnerability on Wake Up. It was up from 11 frames. That's a really good buff, by the way. Jax Cameo, adjusted hit region of Ground Pound, resulting in significantly increased range. So basically that means Jax's Ground Pound is 100% unblockable and it's full screen. So I think that's really good for any players like, Kitana Jax, Baraka Jax. I think it's really absolutely it's absolutely really good, and it gives you more utility to kind of beat up your opponents a lot better. So that's really good. It also fixes a rare issue that Ground Pound to work improperly, as if an opponent's Shang Tsung was interrupted out of the cameo copy. So yeah, I think that's really good. That's a really good hot fix to fix it. Goro Cameo, rearrange your forward throw now does 150 damage, so that's 15% damage instead of 11% damage. I actually like that. That's a really good buff. Striker Cameo, low grenade toss, high grenade toss, and full auto refill rates increase after use. I think that's really good. That's a really good buff, by the way. As you saw with Ninja Killa's gameplay, that's a really good buff. I'm actually fine with that because even though that it does do a good load of damage, it's not broken to to the fact where people are gonna be spamming that, because if you hit Striker while you're able to interrupt that particular function of the combo, then Striker isn't really as broken that people try to make him out to be. So I think that's fine. Sector Cameo, alternate fatal blow attack now hits high. It was a mid and no longer can angle downward. I think that's really good. I'm totally fine with that buff. By the way, I'm actually fine with that nerf because that's actually like a nerf. So now you can duck it, and it's not like some automatic hit that you can get out of it. Scorpion Cameo, Hellblade's refill rate slightly increased after use. I think that's good. Hellblades now recovers 3 frames faster on block. I think that's a really good buff. Sub-Zero Cameo, Arctic Armor can now absorb infinite hits, which is up from 4. So I think that's really good because now it gives people the incentive to use Sub-Zero Cameo a lot more aggressively, and I think that's good for me because I main Shao Kahn with Sub-Zero. That makes him really oppressive. Cold Shoulder has 23 frames of invulnerability on Wake Up. That's actually really good, and I think that's really effective for Sub-Zero. Mavado Cameo, best feet forward and ninja refill rates have decreased after use. Hold on, let me pause the video. I'll be right back. Alright, I'm back. I got some Combo Sensei videos for you guys. So yeah, so basically that's a pretty good nerf for Mavado. His best feet forward and ninja refill rates have been decreased. So that basically means that his refill rate is a lot slower, and I think that's really good to see out of Mavado. So yeah, that means that Mavado players can't be spamming him every like 4 to 6 seconds, and he's not able to use that nonsensical BS. So yeah, to me personally, I'm totally fine with that. I think Mavado having that nerf is actually really good. So I'm actually happy that he would be out of the meta, if people are not really using them like that. So yeah, I'm totally fine with that. But last but not least, we got Tremor. I'm actually not happy with this because I think this is a really dog shit nerf. Tremor cameo. When Tremor is interrupted by an attack, he now has a 10-second cooldown. It was originally 3 seconds for transmute, 6 seconds for moves using meter. So this is okay, but I kind of wish Tremor was unsafe, where he's not able to kind of use all this nonsensical chip damage, where he can just get something out of you, and then he can just get rewarded for it. Because what gets me pissed off with Tremor players is that whenever you're blocking with Tremor, you have to basically eat that damage, whether if he gets that little hit off of you, and then the opponent's able to just kind of use whatever, like, the opponent's able to use basically whatever nonsensical broken BS that they want with Tremor. So I guess I'll probably have to just wait and see how broken Tremor really is still, but to me, this doesn't seem to be much of like a nerf. I mean, it's still good because once you hit Tremor, he'll be gone for 10 seconds. So that means that whether the opponent used Tremor within the mix-up, and then you're able to hit Tremor while hit the opponent, it now gives you the ability to beat the shit out of your opponent a lot faster. So, I'm totally fine with this. I think it's totally fine. I think this is really good. I'd like to see Tremor be unsafe, so therefore he could have negative frames for your opponent every time you try to spam like Sindel Tremor, or let's just say like Shao Kahn Tremor. I don't know, but just make Tremor unsafe along with Pharah. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Wanted to give my thoughts on this, and I think this is a pretty good video to break this down with the patch notes. So yeah, let me know what you guys think, guys. And yeah, this is K-Rot signing out. I just wanted to give my take on this, but this is a pretty decent set of nerfs, and I think this balance patch could have been better. It definitely wasn't that good, in my honest opinion, because it could have been way better. I felt like Sindel should have been nerfed. I think certain characters, like, I don't know, like definitely nerfing, like, I don't know, maybe Ghostface, maybe nerf his ass more. I don't know, like, give him nerfs. Johnny Cage, nerf his stupid ass. I mean, there's a whole bunch of characters that could have been nerfed a lot better, but I think this balance patch could have been a lot better. I kind of wish Sub-Zero got buffed more, where his ice ball is now faster. If they gave him that, Sub-Zero would be an absolute threat, and also make his slide, unreactable, so it's fast on frames. So therefore you can't, you can't be, having to spam projectiles, and then Sub-Zero can't use ice slide up against the projectile. So yeah, that's pretty much what I have to say with that. So yeah, let me know what you guys think, and I will see you guys later. Peace, have a good day, and got more content coming to the channel, and I'll see you guys later. Bye.